Hello, 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 hello. This honoring, you honoring, you honoring. You see, this is what you're honoring. It's a beautiful day today, my people. Sunday afternoon. We are having a nice chill, mountain view, beautiful chill. Obviously, we have to take some moment to connect with nature. You have to connect with nature. You can't just be like sitting around, have no connection with nature. There is no way that you just don't want to connect with nature. There is no way that you don't want to connect with nature. You really don't want to connect with nature. Why would you? Why? You have to go outside, connect with nature, feel free, enjoy yourself. It's not a big deal. It is very helpful. Very much helpful. Yeah, I know it's very exhausting when you're inside the town or when you're living like within the central district of a town where there is no more like vegetation, plantation, open space, free space. It's very exhausting when you don't have such place. Because obviously there's a lot of concrete, it's business up and down. You see? That is all it takes. Making money over concrete. You see? So your body don't really relax, get to a point where you feel like, okay, now I'm in a state of loving the nature. I'm in a state of connecting with the nature, like wondering some of the plants, how did these plants came about? And how helpful it is. You see? Sometimes just have to chill outside, and then by just chilling outside, you get to wonder, like how will be the weather today, or maybe tomorrow, maybe next week, maybe next month, maybe next year by this time. How will the weather change? Of course, thinking about the global warming, you see, there's global warming, you know, a lot of floods. Most places they're packed with flood nowadays. If you check around, like you recently checked Japan, there was a flood in Japan. You check USA, the same typhoon or tornadoes, USA. You check, you see now, there hasn't been like any much destruction in Africa yet. But obviously, what is happening in the northern hemisphere, it is about to happen in the southern hemisphere. Just a matter of time. So we have to be prepared. What is happening in the southern hemisphere is going to happen in the northern hemisphere. We cannot just run away from it. Same. But now, talking about global warming, talking about the solution, you see, I think the AI can be helpful. AI can be very helpful. You see, there's a lot of AI when it comes to robots, when it comes to cars, automobile, a lot of things that are implementing it. But when it comes to the nature itself, global warming, I haven't seen much about AI, how AI can contribute to solve the problems that we have regarding the climate changes. How AI can be helpful regarding the mass destruction of floods, the unpredictable weather, the ocean currents. You know, I haven't actually heard much about AI such spaces. global warming. That will be very interesting, very much interesting to hear how AI can be helpful to resolve the weather, to resolve the climate change, the earthquakes, alerting, and that will be very interesting. So when we sit around in the nature, outside the business of the town, of the city, you get to connect with the nature, and then you get to realize there's a lot of changes, especially with the plantation or with the soil erosion. You get to realize there's a lot of changes. It's similar to technology. You know, when you're not using technology, when you're not using social media for a long time, you get out of updates. It's more like you're out of the latest version. You see. So in order to involve to the latest version, you now have to pick up from learning now how to do this, how to, you see, you'll get to a point now you want to learn like how to create a conversation, how to make a video, how to interact online, how to make a live. You know, we have to learn because now we are so behind. That is very similar with the nature. Very similar with the nature. If we don't pay much attention to the nature, the vegetation, the plantation, the weather, the water, the oceans, we are busy with making money on top of the concrete. When we get back to the nature, we get to realize we are so behind. We are so behind in such a way that it's much soil erosion. We are so behind in such a way that we cannot necessarily control the run of water or the run of soil in a shorter space. We are so behind in such a way that we're not paying much attention to the birds. We're not paying attention to the wild animals, the extinction of animals, the extinction of plants. You see. So when we connect to the nature, we get to a point where we are very much behind. There's so much damage, so much water damage, so much plantation is gone, so much animals have been extinct. You see. Which means now we are tending to move into a different dimension. Obviously, it is a different dimension of life. If you don't pay much attention to what is happening around. So now, I'm thinking now, maybe next time, how would it feel like next time to see the contribution of AI? Obviously, I understand the delay because AI, when it comes to global warming, is not necessarily making money. It's not necessarily about business. It's not necessarily about profit. But if you think about it in an indirect way, it is very benefiting in a prophetic way. It is very benefiting in a business way. Because what is the use of having an AI now making more robust that will function more like making more money, more business, more income now? But in the 5 years or 10 years to come, you have no control of what is going to happen in your own area, like flooding, you see, like landslide, you see. So now most people now they are focusing on AI based on it's more like they want to profit more on AI, then they push their focus on that. But when it comes to the community they live in, when it comes to the life, I mean the weather, the ocean, they feel like they are not directly affected by that because it is not benefiting them in a way as it might benefit them when they have a business that makes them more money. So therefore, they may not necessarily pay much investment or interest towards bringing about solution. Which is one of the results that means it's one of the things that there's a delay when it comes to AI. So now, obviously, the government is busy with that, but the government is not the one who's producing AI. There's private companies producing AI, and the private companies that are advanced in AI, obviously, they are being supported by the government. But until those private companies produce AI, there cannot be a solution yet from the government. And the government doesn't produce AI. That would be very interesting to see